Hello there everybody, this is Grant, also known as the Collect 75. Welcome to the first part of my ZOIDS UK comics review. Now then, as you'll have seen a while ago, I actually finished my Transformers UK comics reviews. That took me 9 years, a lot longer than I actually thought it was ever going to take me. I thought it was going to take me like, what, 6 months when I first started it in 2009. That took me 9 years. There's only 52 issues of this, so I'm hoping to get this done a lot sooner. But we'll see. Anyway, right, so we're going to start here. This is a Collected Comics one. Now, I'm going to actually use this one because the Zoids didn't actually start in their own comic. They were like a backup strip in Secret Wars, or Secret Wars 2, I think. I'll show those in a second, but I just want to give a little bit of history, and not too much, because obviously I'm not totally sure of the popularity of these videos and everything, because I don't know the following of Zoids too much. Because in America, Zoids weren't called Zoids. Back in the 80s, they were like Robo-Strucks, maybe something else, and they definitely didn't have the same colours as the Zoids. And in Japan, they had the same colours as we got, or we got the same colours as theirs, really. I think they're released in Japan first, obviously, as usually most stuff is. And obviously in Japan, the Zoids were Republic and Empire Zoids, and they were controlled by humans. Whether it was on planet Earth or not, I'm not totally sure. But then in Europe, the actual Zoids were piloted by android pilots who were alive, or had broke their programming, so to speak. And they battled on the planet Zoidstar. And that's as much history as I'm going to go in, because obviously the comics all do most of the history telling. But it was pretty cool. Right, so this is the Collected Comics one. I can't remember if this is one of my originals from when I was a kid. I only ever had a few issues of Zoids when I was little, mainly because my money used to go on the Transformers comic. My brother used to buy some Zoids. He was a bit older than me, and he used to like it because obviously the Zoids were like model kits, but you didn't need the glue. You just used these little caps, little rubber caps to keep them together, and it was great because you could break them apart, put them back together. It's great. So he was into them, and occasionally we'd buy the ZOIDS comic, not always, just sometimes. And so I did have 1 or 2 issues of that left from when I was a kid, maybe, or maybe I got these, maybe they all bit the dust, I can't remember, and then I picked them up from somewhere else. I only had about 5 issues, but then I went on eBay trying to get as many as I could, and finally about a year or 2 ago I managed to get the last of the issues that I needed so I could do these videos. Right, so let me show you what I did manage to pick up. Where are we? Right, so I managed to get these. With this is Secret Wars. Is it Secret Wars or Secret Wars 2? No, it's Secret Wars. And so this is the first appearance of Zoids. As you can see, it comes with a great giant poster of Zoidzilla there, which is pretty cool. It's still got the poster in this one. That was like 3 or 4 quid, I can't remember now. Maybe a 5, I can't remember. That's pretty cool. Now, the storylines in this is included in this, so I'm going to go through that, because then there's only like 3 pages in this. And so to go through all of this comic, to get those 3 pages, a bit annoying. So I thought, well, I'll show them what I've got. Haven't got all of these ones, because I've got that, and I just can't be bothered in the end. But I do have the full 52 of the actual Zoids comic. So that's them, and then it finished in this one, and then it continued in its own comic. So here we are with Zoids. So this is going to run through the comics that were in Secret Wars. Now we start here. This guy is called the Namer. He is the last of the Zoidarian race on Zoidstar. Now it says here something about he is the last of his race, and he has been, or he's got like, I don't know, he's been left with the prodigal thing of naming the Zoids. Bit silly, really. Yeah, so he names a few here. He names this one Spider Zoid, names this one Trooper Zoid, this one Hydra Zoid, because it obviously floats in the water and everything. Now the Zoids, he says, look, have broken their program. This is where they're Zoid against Zoid, because you can see Zoidzilla here. He's a blue Zoid, and he's attacking giant Zerk. And that's it. And he says, yeah, oh no, they've broken their programming and everything like that. Some of the storyline doesn't make quite sense to what happens later on, because obviously this is just who knew that it was actually going to get its own comic and be popular or whatever. And there we go, look. But soon they must face another foe, as strong as pitiless maybe, as they are. The Red Zoids are coming. So we'll see. Soon it was not going to be Zoid against Zoid, because the original adverts for the Zoids was just Zoid versus Zoid. And you would have They were all blue Zoids, and you just have Zoids going against the other. But then I remember the first advert, because I remember going to my brother, goes, "Oh, brother, look, brother, look." Well, I wouldn't say brother, his name's Desmond. I goes, "Here, Des, look." And we watched the advert, and it was like, the red Zoids have come. And I thought it was brilliant. So we went down the shops, and they had them in like W.H. Smith. It's fantastic. I loved it. Anyway, so this is the next bit, and now we go on to this Spider Zoid. Been attacked by this red Slither Zoid and everything like that. And now he's saying, oh, it's a case of be destroy or be destroyed. And obviously, again, now the toys, I'm going to say one thing here. Sorry about that, I was interrupted there. So anyway, yes, I can't exactly remember where I was, but here we are. So we got destroy. Sorry about that, I got rudely interrupted there. So yes, so I'm not exactly sure where I was, but here we go. So you got destroy or be destroyed. Let's have a look. So you've got, it's going to take more than that to destroy the last Zoidarian. But now we actually come to the main storyline. Now the main storyline actually does focus on some humans. Now we're on the Celeste, which is a spaceship from Earth, carrying convicts, mainly because Earth has become so overcrowded and everything. They're just shipping the convicts, a bit like what England done a couple of 100 years ago with Australia and everything like that. So they send these convicts out to basically go to this desolate planet and build their own prison. Stuff. So we've got the captain, which is Captain Heller, a couple of other people, and this guy here called Silverman. And that's about it, really. Then suddenly they're on there, and they've got the rest of the convicts in here. This black guy, he's actually innocent. He said he's been framed for something he didn't do. We'll never find out what that is, I don't think. Anyway, blah, 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 blah. And then suddenly they notice an incoming object, smashes into the ship, forcing the ship to basically into planetfall, really, and it falls to the planet, crash lands right in the midst of some Zoids, and we see the name here, C&E, coming down, and now it's about to be attacked by some Zoids, or it takes out these Zoids, and then it's I think it incurs the wrath of Zoidzilla here, just taking down some Hell Runners. And as you can see, because the ship has crashed, all the people are trying to get out of the ship before it explodes, and they're being picked off by the Spider Zoids, the Manta Zoid here. And the neighbour's watching, and he's saying, "Oh, I don't know who these people are," but you can keep hearing he knows that somebody else is coming or something like that. And so we get the humans. Some survive, only a few. Most of the convicts do die. These guys do try taking down a Spider Zoid, but then they run straight into Zoidzilla. But he hears this crack, sort of like scream, and he goes off to face that. And then the last Zoidarian, basically called the Namer, he always reminds me of Doctor Doom. I always thought he was Doctor Doom when I was little. So anyway, he's decided that these humans aren't a threat, and he decides to try and help them. So he tells them basically to come over here before they're attacked by Zoidzilla. And now he goes into the origin of the Zoids. And he basically tells them that Zoidstar used to be a planet, I think it was like a galactic planet. They conquered the galaxy, the Zoidarian race did. And they used these big war machines called Zoids to do it. And that was basically it. And he was on a ship in one of the vast fleets out in space. And it was on its way back to Zoidstar after a long tour of duty. But something happened to his ship, and it crash landed on Zoidstar's blue moon, which was freezing cold. Something about blah, 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 he crashed there. He was the last survivor. To combat the freezing conditions, the Zoids had to, oh no, this was before it, something like that, blah, blah, blah. He got the Zoids to fix up his ship so he could send it back to Zoidstar. He managed to crash land back on Zoidstar himself, only to find that the Zoidarians had all died out. Some cataclysmic thing had happened to them. He's not sure what. And the Zoids had broken their programming and were basically running amok for supremacy, really. And then these red Zoids had come from the blue moon, because when he had left them there, they either broke their programming as well or something, and basically had to adapt to survive on the blue moons. They filled their Zoids full of boiling hot fluid and were red hot, hence why they're red. And that's it, that's how they survived on the blue moon. And then they used these weird meteorite things and launched them at Zoidstar, and this is how they invaded Zoidstar. And the blue Zoids, this is where he's saying about, see, he's got a blue horn here. basically had to unite behind Zoidzilla to fight off the incoming mutant Red Zoid army, really. It's a basic storyline, if you want my opinion. It's a little bit, it's happening because we're saying it's happening rather than maybe what would happen, I don't know. But that's about it, really, and that's kind of what it is. And we've got Redhorn here. He is the leader of the mutant Red Zoids. And that is it. That is it. That's all the storyline is. So we've got red versus blue, and that's it. Yeah, there we go. Not much else to it at the moment. So as we go on, we do find a few other things. We see all these Zoids attacking Zoidzilla here. He manages to run. He's called in some Spider Zoids so he can escape. It always said on the boxes of the toys that the blue Zoids were good and the red Zoids were evil. In this comic, they're all evil. Zoidzilla's not a good person. He will easily attack the humans and kill them. So they're all just as bad as each other, really. There's no good or really bad Zoids. Always a bit weird. And so we got the humans trying to survive on this world, really. That is what the storyline is, really. It's the humans trying to survive. While the Zoids do have their own sort of like mini storyline. We've got Redhorn here. He wants to, basically conquer the Zoid Star and everything like that. And then we got Krark. Now then, I don't believe we see Krark in this. But we got the humans have captured their own Spider Zoid. That's how they're using to get around. Not much is happening on the storyline at the moment, apart from the fact they don't like this guy Silverman. He's a bit of a nasty bloke. We've got Griff here on the run from a Hell Runner. And then we got the sort of like the Zoid storyline here. We got Blue Mammoth. I do have a toy of Blue Mammoth. It is very hard. It's like a French variant. You sort some bits out and then he's all blue because he's a bit of green in him. Everything like that. Yeah, but he defects to the Red Zoids and becomes Mammoth the Destroyer. As you go, you can see him being turned into a Red Zoid there. And that is it, really. We have... I do like this bit, and he says, goes, Redhorn. Goes, surely me attacking those blue Zoids and saving your life earlier. It goes, merely convinced you that I am a Red Zoid now, or something, or on your side. And he goes, no, you merely convinced me of your treacherous nature. And so that is, you can see on the Mammoth the Destroyer is going to be a bit like Starscream out of Transformers. And that's pretty cool. So there we go. So now we have Mammoth facing off against Zoidzilla. He says, you used to be my second in command, but obviously now you've switched sides, and so they have a big fight and everything. And that is about it, really. They run off, basically, to lick their wounds. A nice picture of Krark there. So there we go, Zoids. So I do like the, what's the word, the adverts for these. Great, I do like them. Right, so now we're going to move on to our next issue, which will be issue number 1 of this Spider-Man and ZOIDS comic. Now, yeah, I mean, it never got its own comic. I know it is kind of, but it does have the back. Well, Spider-Man is the main, and it was ZOIDS. I always wanted ZOIDS to be the backup strip of Transformers, but they couldn't do that, really. Probably money reasons as well. I mean, you can sell 2 comics then, can't you? For, having ZOIDS in their own comic. Because all the Spider-Man are just backup strips, really, or reprints. So, it's all of that. Plus, you got to think that Tomy owned ZOIDS and Hasbro owned Transformers. They wouldn't want their brands being in the same comic, probably. That as well, more than likely. So anyway, so now we go to a bit of a recap of what's going on. As you can see, now because Mammoth defected to the Reds, he's constructing a new Zoid in the Zoid factories called Gore. Now we see our first picture of Krark, Prince of Darkness. Here he is. Now, he has his own agenda. He is another big Zoid. And he's got his own agenda. He knows the futility of the Zoid wars. He doesn't see the point in why a Zoid is attacking Zoid, red Zoid, blue Zoid. He thinks all Zoids should be united, and together they could conquer the galaxy. And that is his plan, to unite red and blue behind him. Now, if you ever remember ZOIDS 2, I think there was, I don't know if it was a fandom sort of like storyline or whatever, but the ZOIDS 2 sort of like toys was kind of supposed to have been maybe Krark's united Zoid army, but who knows. And that is it, really. Here we got a nice picture of Krark there. You can see these little androids here, the scouting for Zoidzilla because they found Krark. Blah, blah, blah. As you can see, he destroys the Scorpozoid there, and he tells the red Zoids, Krark, I've come, and everything like that. Not too much going on at the moment, apart from the moment they've found this Zoid here. It doesn't really get interesting until a little bit later on with humans. So at the moment, they're just trying to survive and find out sort of stuff about where they are, really. A bit like Lost in Space, kind of. So let's get past this really cool poster of, I think it's Croc, I think. I do love these posters. You don't get nothing like this these days. And then we just go into Spider-Man and some other bits. Insectors. Yeah, it's a bit weird one, that one. So, I mean, see, unfortunately, you have 3 comics in one on this, which is a bit annoying. So then we come to that's number 3. We come to number 2. And you've got your free Transformers sticker album. This is long gone. I don't know if I had this one from when I was a kid or not. But now we have, I think it's Captain Heller. He's trying to take on the Spineback Zoid here. And he destroys the android pilot. And then we have the Croc here destroying a Z-Ray, I don't know how you pronounce it. And he says, "Hear me, Trooper Zoid. Let this be the first and last time you witness a red mutant saving a blue Zoid by destroying another red." And he's basically going to say, "Look, we should all be united." He goes, "There should be no red and blue." He goes blah, 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 blah. "I offer you a simple choice. Either follow me, Croc, Prince of Darkness, or face annihilation at my hands." And a few Zoids do actually defect to Croc. I can't remember. I think it's some Terrorzoids. I can't remember. Something like that. And then we got a nice picture of Zoidzilla there. Yeah, here we are. So now these are in the factory. I think the humans do go into the Zoid factory because they want to try and fix the Celeste so they can get off this bloody planet. And nice little print readout here. I remember this. Win an Omnibot 2000 in the Zoids What Happened Next competition. I remember that. I went to my nearest WA Smiths in Staines and I picked up a couple of those. I wish I still had it. I wish I still had that. Anyway, that is it for this one. Lots more Zoids. I'm not going to go too much into it because there's not a lot in there of Zoids, actually. It's a shame. So now, what's this? Number 4. This is the one I want. Number 3. So here we are. We've got a Spider-Man cover this time. So there we are. There's another picture of Croc being attacked by some androids. Oh, I love that. Look at this artwork. Who does the artwork in this one? I forgot to mention that there is it Kev Hopgood? Oh, right. Jeff Anderson. Don't know what he's doing there. Oh, he might have coloured it. Yeah, we've got Ian Rimmer wrote most of these, but I forgot to actually mention that Grant Morrison actually wrote some of these Zoid stories. If you may have heard of him from Arkham Asylum and DC's Final Crisis. He actually cut his teeth doing some of these Zoids comics back in the 80s. There's a nice Croc here. And now they're trying to infiltrate this Zoid factory. You can see they're protected by these sort of like more combat sort of like androids. So they know to get in there and it'll be really tough. And you've got, what's that one? Great Gorgon there. So anyway, right, that was the end of that. I don't think there's much happening in this comic other than that. So you go through it. And we've got a nice advert for Transformers there. Spider-Man. I could never get into Spider-Man. I was never a big Spider-Man or Marvel sort of like fan, really. I just noticed this page has come out now. That's not good. Yeah, so we've got a database there on... Who's that then? I don't know who he is. Cheetah, in it. Oh, I don't know. Not big on my Spider-Man villains, unfortunately. If I can actually get through this comic, so I can't find the pages. It was the Sectors. I remember someone put an advert or thing for the actual cartoon of Sectors on Instagram the other day. God, it's weird. Anyway, right, so that was issue number 3. And now we're going to move on to number 4. Nice picture of Gore there. I do have a Gore, the Zoid. Unfortunately, the motors are knackered. Some of those motors just don't work on these toys, unfortunately. I do have the sticker somewhere in this issue. Let's have a look. Let's go through it. So unfortunately, these comics aren't in the greatest of condition. So I can open this page here. Right, so here we are. As you can see, now they've been captured. Oh no, they're pretending that they've captured this guy. These humans are posing as androids to get into the factory. And they get taken in and everything. You've got more Croc looking for new allies and everything like that. I think there's a text story in the Zoids annual telling of what happened to the Zoid Aryan race. There's this sticker. You'd used it on the poster that came free with issue 1. Bit weird. So anyway, so there's Gore, and we are going to say, he goes, "Look, your lieutenant is ready." Oh, I can't even bloody say it. Ah, dear. And Zoidzilla, good news. Your new lieutenant is ready for combat. Then get him out to me fast, because he'd just seen Krark coming towards Zoidzilla. I never found out who this guy was. I don't know if he was another Zoidarian that survived. I don't know. Let's have a look. Because to be honest, I haven't read these comics for a very long time, and I can't actually remember. But I've got to start rereading them. So when I do these videos. Right, so a nice picture of Gore there. Nice data readout. So we've got Gore, the Lord Protector. Origin, recently constructing the Blue Zoid factory to aid Zoidzilla. Let's have a look. Special features. A fighting mechanical monster developed for hand-to-hand fighting, as may be appreciated from its shape. So close to that of a human being, its strength gives it vast, tremendous advantages in close-quarter hand-to-hand fighting. The advantages of this strength are even more apparent in jungles or city streets. I don't know, there's any cities on bloody Zoids where firearms are not particularly effective. Anyway, right, so we're going to go through the rest of this comic here. I think I'm going to leave this one here. I'm just going to show one or two more other comics of note. Just because I don't want to do too many in one go. I know this video has actually gone on longer than I actually thought it would, actually. And then we got some classifieds. So let's see if I can ever find... what was I looking for now? I've got nostalgia on comics. It was Comic Show. There it is, Comic Showcase. There it is. Look at that. So I'll get it into view. There it is, right there in London. Monmouth Street in London. I used to go to that one. Finally found it. Don't know why I could never find it in the Transformers ones, but there we go. Right, I'm going to put that sticker back in now. I was going to lose that. Go in there. Right, there we go. So that was issue 4. For the next video, I'm going to do issue 5, and then maybe to 10 or something like that. And then I'll maybe try and do 10 issues in one go. It was only trying to get through that collected comics on that took the time. So anyway, so there we are. So there's the comics that we've just done. Now, another one of that, I've got this one. This is Collected Comics 2. A nice picture of Krark there on the front. And that basically recaps what happened in these issues here. Unfortunately, I do have Collected Comics 3, but I think there's a Collected Comics 4. But I don't know what that's got in it because I could never get it. Yeah, a bit of a shame, really. I would like to have got that one. But some of the later stories, it does get quite good. Right, so... I'm going to leave this one here. I hope you liked it. Leave me some feedback, what you did like about it, what you didn't like, because I'm not totally sure exactly how to do these ones, to be honest. Yeah. Okay, right. This has been Graham, the Collector 75. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.